Hello, my name is Dr. David Meyer, and today I will be speaking to you about functional training of the singing voice. And it is my privilege and my honor to participate in the China National Artistic Voice Medicine Forum here in November of 2020. So thank you for this opportunity. The first thought I want to begin with is from one of my favorite voice teachers, Marvin Kenzie. And Marvin says that information is only truly useful when it stirs our imagination or inspires our creativity. And it is my hope that you may find your imagination stirred or your creativity inspired with this talk. So let's begin. What are we talking about? First, I will talk about functional voice training and what that is. And then we'll look at voice anatomy and physiology and how we teach it, and at vocal acoustics. And then lastly, a quick look at voice research and contemporary commercial music at Shenandoah University. So, what is functional voice? Functional voice, that term means different things to different people, but at its core, we talk about building the strength, the agility, and the health of the instrument first. And this type of training is style agnostic. What that means is there is no one correct musical style that one has to sing in. And lastly, functional voice training looks very carefully at the mind and at the body and at the connection between the two. So, building the strength, we need a strong instrument, but it has to be flexible, it has to be agile, and above all, it must be healthy. We build the function of the instrument, and we believe that beauty follows function. Many voice teachers first pursue a beautiful sound, and that is a logical course of action, but it never produces results quite as strong as when the instrument is in good shape. We believe that if you build the instrument functionally, the beauty follows. Our goal is to create a free vocal instrument that the singer can use to express music and tone however they would like. This training is style agnostic. That means there's not one musical style that is the best for every singer. We believe in individualized training, and what is right for me is not necessarily right for my student. I sing opera, I sing oratorio and art song, and I adore the music of Schubert. However, my student might be passionate about singing gospel music or rhythm and blues or another musical style that for me would be fully inappropriate. But that's immaterial. The goal is to create an instrument that is powerful and agile and functional. The mind-body connection is very important as well. This is a visual analogy that I took from Dr. Mara Beilau in Brazil. And if you think of an iceberg in the ocean, you only see a small portion of it. Most of it is underwater. In the same way, a singer is singing in front of you in studio, and you are only witnessing a portion of what's happening. You can hear the sound. You can see what they're doing with their posture and with their expressions and gestures. But all of that is just a small portion of what is going in to make the sound. Underneath the surface, subconsciously, at a level we cannot observe, they have behaviors and feelings and memories and thoughts that all contribute to that singer and their use of their vocal instrument. So we don't train voice. Many voice teachers, they talk about themselves as, I teach voice. And we don't. We don't train voice. We don't train people. We don't train, I just misspoke. We don't train voice. We train people. Don't you hate it when you misspeak on a recorded talk? The mind-body connection is significant, especially here at Shenandoah. This is a photograph of a masterful class with Dr. Tinyu Chen, and she uses feng shui and yoga and other schools of physical behavior to help voice teachers and voice students unlock their instrument. And we also look at different areas of psychology and science in training singers. The mind piece is significant. We look at motor learning principles. This is a type of science that looks at how we learn motor tasks, athletic tasks, or even singing tasks. And science tells us a number of things about how one can teach and how one can learn efficiently. We also look at motivational interviewing. This is a school of thought in psychology that comes from addiction sciences. And in voice, we are trying to help people change behavior. Well, in addiction sciences, someone who is addicted, for example, to cigarettes, that is a very difficult behavior to change. And there's some wonderful psychological science in motivational interviewing to help them change that behavior. And we can take advantage of those studies in singing as well. And we also train our students, teachers, to respond to nonverbal cues. When you are teaching someone to sing, they will be letting you know how they're feeling and what they're thinking, very often through their body, through what they're doing with their posture and with their expressions. And if we are not paying attention to those nonverbal cues, we are missing a lot of important information that can help us help the student. And lastly, we believe in moving from can into can't. So many voice teachers will give you a long list of things you are doing incorrectly as soon as you are done singing a song. Emphasizing the deficit usually doesn't get you very far with a student, but moving from what they can do well into what they want to learn how to do is a proven strategy. Emphasizing ability, emphasizing what they can do as you work into what they cannot do. Now, the mind-body connection is important to look at the body. We believe that function and knowledge of the actual function of the body can improve your instructional efficiency. And the function of the body for singing is divided up into these 4 what we call shuns. We say shun because that's the end of the word in English. Respiration, that's the breathing, the power source. Phonation, that's the sound source, the vocal folds vibrating. Resonation, that's the sound filter, what colors the sound. And lastly, articulation, forming words, forming consonants and vowels, and the language sounds that we need as singers. We study these different components of voice like they are fully separate things, but in truth, they are interconnected and they interact with each other. So how do we study them? Well, through an in-depth anatomy and physiology program here at Shenandoah University, which I teach. We look at the muscles of breathing to study respiration. To study phonation, we look at the intrinsic and extrinsic laryngeal muscles, the muscles inside of and outside of the vocal mechanism, and especially at the vocal fold microstructure, at the histology of the vocal folds. This helps us understand pitch and register transitions and passaggio events. And for resonation, we look at the muscles of the pharynx. Articulation, that's the muscles and the structures of the tongue, the jaw, and the lips. And that's a number of different things. That's many, many structures. However, we also look at vocal health and disorders and temporomandibular joint disorders and laryngopharyngeal reflux, and also at pediatric and geriatric voice, because we need different approaches for those singers. But there's a problem. Our singers come into graduate study with beautiful performing resumes and beautiful voices and concert experiences, but many of them don't have a lot of experience in the sciences. And so we need customizable educational methods to reach these students. These are a few of the educational methods that we use. We use virtual and augmented reality. We use an anatomage dissection simulator, which is a wonderful tool. And then we spend quite a lot of time looking at actual specimens in the cadaver lab. We also bring in guest speakers, and all of my lectures are online, so the singers can look at them as many times as they would like. This is a look at the virtual reality that our singers go through at Shenandoah University. When they are looking at structures in virtual reality, they experience them in a unique way that it sticks with them. they have a powerful experience when they are immersed in virtual reality. And we are fortunate to have a state-of-the-art virtual reality program at Shenandoah University, one of the only majors in virtual reality in the United States. We also look at augmented reality. That's when these structures are projected into the space where the singer is located. You can project a whole skeleton into your living room. This is homework from Shanshan Zhang in my class. She was looking at the quadratus lumborum. And let me show you a moment of that.
Hi everyone, this is Shanshan. So today I'm going to talk about a pair of secondary expiratory muscle called quadratus lumborum. So as you can see from the AR model, it inserts from the lower border of the last rib and by 4 small tendons from the apsis of the transverse processes of the upper 4 lumbar vertebrae. And the way I remember it, it's a quad-shaped muscle. It's near the lumbar, so it's quadratus lumborum. The function of... Hi everyone, this is Shan.
The anatomage table is a dissection simulator that we also use. This is a wonderful tool. And for this table, it's 1 meter by 2.5 meters in size. And the creators of this table took several different human cadavers, and they sliced them in 1 millimeter sections and imaged each section and then digitally reconstructed them so we can work our way through the body in a simulated dissection. And this tool has been very helpful for students understanding these complex structures that we use for speech and singing. Here you can look at a sagittal view, a sagittal sweep through the vocal tract. You see the thyroid cartilage, and then the vocal folds right here, and the cricoid cartilage underneath it. And it's been a wonderful tool. There's the vocal folds right there, cricoid, thyroid. And the anatomage table has been a wonderful teaching tool. We also spend quite a lot of time looking at real human specimens in the cadaver lab. We are fortunate to have very collaborative colleagues in health sciences, and I have about 15 human larynges excised and preserved in the lab in different dissections to teach the students about this remarkable structure that we use for speech and for singing. And I have a guidebook made up of the different specimens with labels and notes of things that they should observe. We have many different universities come through and tour the lab and look at these specimens. We also have guest speakers. This is Dr. Tom Carroll from Harvard University speaking to our class in 2019, and they are happily showing off their model larynges that they made as part of the class as well. Dr. Carroll is one of the world's authorities on LPR, laryngopharyngeal reflux. Vocal acoustics are an important part of functional voice training, and the 4 tools that we primarily look at are spectrography, 3D printed vowels, and that voice range profile, and at aerodynamics. Spectrography is an important tool for teaching. This is a soprano going through secondo passaggio, moving from an H2, H1 strategy. I'm sorry that the audio is a bit low, but you get the idea. Spectrography is something that our students need to learn about in order to teach well. The 3D printed vowels are the result of a sabbatical project of mine from 2018. I collaborated with colleagues in the School of Engineering at the University of Iowa, and we produced numerous MRI scans of static and dynamic vocal postures. And this data is then downloadable into different programs. This is a screenshot of my students dissecting my head in the anatomage table. They find that interesting for some reason. I can't imagine why. But we have these wonderful snapshots of different vowels. Here's an U vowel or an E vowel. And those snapshots are then converted into CAD files, which are digitally printed in 3D plastic. This was accomplished with the help of a great colleague, Dr. David Howard, at the University of London, Royal Holloway, in 2018 and 2019. And with these plastic 3D printed vocal tracts from imagery made from my own body, we can then teach about vocal tract configuration and how that changes the form into shapes. We also have a state-of-the-art voice range profile system. This particular system, we're the only folks in the United States that have it, and this is especially useful for tracking long-term longitudinal voice changes, particularly with singers who have had some sort of health issue. And we look at aerodynamic and pressure measurements also. This is our K-Pentax PASS system. But we also find that the expensive lab tools aren't always the most effective teaching tools. We have inexpensive wet spirometry demonstrated here. The singer breathes into this tube, which then lifts this white tub, and it moves the cursor on the scale, showing her how liters of air she has for her vital capacity. And these inexpensive tools are things that the singing teachers can use with their own students. Voice research at Shenandoah University is also very active. Most recently, we've published 2 papers on the COVID pandemic and what that means for singers. And these are both printed in the Journal of Voice. And there are 5 Journal of Singing articles coming in 2021 on different topics. And our students, our doctoral students, all need to write dissertations. And some of the topics that we've examined with those dissertations include helping people with Parkinson's or with cystic fibrosis have better lives through singing, have better health through singing, using vocal function exercises for folks with laryngopharyngeal reflux disorder. We've also looked at the psychophysiology of music performance anxiety to try to help understand what anxiety in performing does to the vocal mechanism. And we have a particular focus and passion for serving communities that have been underserved by the scientific community. We have a wonderful dissertation in progress right now looking at helping elderly African American singers in Harlem stay singing. At the heart of all of our research projects is a commitment to collaboration. We believe deeply that when we work together, we can address the problems that our singers face much more effectively. And all of our research projects have involved collaboration with colleagues in neighboring disciplines such as speech-language pathology, laryngology, but also music education, music therapy, and all of the therapeutic disciplines. We believe that together we can get much farther than we can all by ourselves. And lastly, I wanted to say a quick word about the CCM Institute. CCM, in this instance, stands for Contemporary Commercial Music. Shenandoah University has been leading the field in training contemporary commercial singers. This program takes place in the summer over the course of several weeks, and it's been going on for over 20 years, and it has trained thousands of teachers of singing to help their students sing better. This is Dr. Ingo Tietze visiting the program. And it has an established faculty. It's really a remarkable program, and I encourage you to look at that hyperlink and to learn about the CCM program and what it has to offer. So to wrap up, functional training of the voice. Functional training, it frees the voice. We look for vocal freedom through the health and the strength and the flexibility of the instrument. And this promotes artistic communication in song. This allows the singer to express the range of human emotions in their art once the function is established. And voice science, we believe, can increase the efficiency of our training. And it can also, to some extent, reduce the subjectivity that is a part of working with singers. I wanted to take a very brief moment to thank the friends and colleagues of the Janette Voice Research Center and some of these wonderful mentors listed on the right, and especially Dean Michael Stepniak, my boss at Shenandoah Conservatory. Thank you so much. Hello, my name is Dr. David Meyer, and today I will be speaking to you about functional training of the singing voice. and it is my privilege and my honor to participate in the China National Artistic Voice Medicine Forum here in November of 2000.